Welcome back to this new module, guys. So, techniques to tame your thoughts. Why is this technique beneficial and why do I strongly advise for it? First of all, it will help you to harness your power of your mind. Okay. Number two, you will gain control over your thoughts. And number three, you will unlock your potential for growth. So, one of the important principles in reality transurfing is observing without reacting. It's basically when you wake up from your daydream sleeping. You see, what I noticed from my experience, the more asleep you are, the more you are being tortured by your past self, by the thoughts that come to you habitually from your past self, by your past habits, and the negative thoughts that you were habitually feeding, the pendulums that you used to feed in the past. Now that you are becoming more aware, now that you are becoming more observant, the more observant you are, the moment you wake up, you observe these thoughts and they have no power over you no more. You see them as clouds passing you by. So observe without engaging. Reactivity traps. Don't react. I know, yeah, like sometimes I think to myself that these thoughts are present. Okay, am I attracting? Am I now reacting? But no, what you could basically do as one of the tricks that I use is you could imagine yourself. You could imagine that. I don't know if you know the movie Neo, The Matrix. So Neo was standing in this grand white, like, so it was an office, and then Morpheus changed the environment, and it became white. Like everything is white. What you could imagine is you are floating in space, for example, in space-like environment. And the thoughts that come to you, you could imagine closing your eyes that, like, angelic hand, or like a just a big, like a hand reaches to your mind, takes these thoughts and um you know imagine them as stagnant dirt, whatever you want to imagine it, right? Or just imagine them as clouds, and just imagine that this hand is throwing them to the dark or black hole. This black hole could be anything. It could be one of the ways that I imagine it is, imagine a wall, like imagine you're floating in a space-like environment, and there is an invisible black hole. It looks exactly as it's a mirror. It's like a mirror, and like nothing seems to change drastically in your view. But when stuff gets thrown into this pond, you can think of it as a pond. I don't know if you've seen the Terminator. When he goes through the wall becomes vivid or liquid. Maybe the Matrix as well. So the same thing. You throw these thoughts, and then when you throw these thoughts there, the pond or the invisible wall just, like you see it vibrates as like the water, like the pond, and then swallows the thought, and that's it. Underneath the pond, there's a black hole, right? So you can imagine you take them and you throw them. Or some people advise that you get a rubber, and then you know, kind of remind yourself every time you have a negative thought, you kind of, like kind of give yourself this negative um, mini punishment for your brain so that it stops. Some people said that worked. But anyways, observe without reacting. Do whatever feels right for you. What may work for someone may not necessarily work for another one. Becoming a neutral observer. So stop feeding the pendulums. Neutral stance stops negativity. So if you actually, I always keep on saying this, pendulum is not something metaphorical. Pendulum is real in a metaphysical space. So imagine, if you imagine the pendulum to be, if you understand that the pendulum is real, you can imagine yourself that you are invisible, right? You are invisible and your opacity, the opacity of your body could be almost to like 10%. You see yourself like you see only 10% of yourself in the black space, right? In the dark space, the metaphysical space. Like I don't know how you envision it. It's up to you. I mean, however you like to see it, but I see it as a very interesting field. I don't know if you have VR headset. When you turn off or when you turn on the headset, there is this infinite black space with dots. I don't know, something like that. Like whatever it feels comfortable for you. So I imagine myself being opacious for 10%. And I imagine like whatever thoughts that you have, if you have, let's say, a conflict with your neighbor, you can imagine your neighbor is a pendulum, a vortex, or a literal pendulum, like however you want to envision it. Um, that the pendulum is throwing hooks onto you, trying to fish you, right? Like you are a fish, and it tries to throw these hooks, but it misses. These hooks go through you because these thoughts visit you. They go through you, and then they fall. And if the pendulum managed to get a hook of you, you responded emotionally. Some of like one of the exercises that I advise you to do is basically imagine, I don't know if you're familiar with energy work, but you're basically imagining that energy from above, right, from the source of all that is, not only is it connected to your like to your meridian channels, but at the same time you can imagine an energy from like you can imagine a white stick spinning and coming from the earth, spinning like a helicopter, taking with it all the spider web, which is basically the pendulum hooks, right? It takes all the pendulum hooks from you and that like just leaves these hooks and then comes from above, spins fast to clean what's left. And this works. If you have seen Naruto, if you watch anime, you would understand that um, these people talk and teach you about energy work. They teach you about your true self. If you if you remember to watch these cartoons mindfully and pay attention, you will understand everything. That's an example in an English book, right? So it says, if you observe carefully, you will understand everything. That's exactly what it was an example of some grammar of some sort, but that's true. Observe without judgment. Let thoughts pass like waves. Like I said, hooks. They try to throw hooks onto you. You are free. You are empty. It doesn't get onto you, and that's it. Nothing to hook onto. And if you still have to encounter some people, or if you some occasionally you may see, those people that you try to avoid or try not to deal with, don't react. Don't react. So what you could do is basically like after you work with your energy, after you clean that pendulum hook, just remember that some exercises you could do is basically you could imagine yourself going through these people. Or imagine if you see those people, how would you react? Inoculate your mind by not reacting. Sometimes, like it could be as a way of manifesting that, because whatever you imagine and feel will manifest, right? So that's this example that I gave you comes from NLP, neuro linguistic programming. You could inoculate yourself if it's an inevitable, like if it's your boss, if it's, I don't know, you know better. But at the same time, you could basically lightly, not, you don't have to heavily invest in this imagination, but lightly imagine, like you go about your routine. If you see those people, react, like you react peacefully. Hey, good morning. How are you? How are you? And by the way, the people that you are trying to avoid or that affect you negatively, send a good thought toward them. You know, if they hound you, or if you have a conflict with a neighbor or anyone in your life, just think what they want. Why is this happening, right? Maybe they want to have more money. Maybe they want to relax. Maybe they want to have maybe they want to like I said, maybe they want to have money. Maybe they want to have health. Maybe they want to enjoy some time with their family or whatever. Imagine them having or imagine them peacefully getting what they want. Just, a person, for example, comes to you and they give you trouble. Think what they want. And as you try to not to respond, and as you try to be basically, and as you observe what's happening, imagine that this person is, let's say, hugging piles of money, or if you know the person, imagine them skiing, or going on a mountain or anything like that. Believe me, this works. The pendulum will get a dose of positive energy, and it will leave you alone. It will leave you alone, and you must remember to be positive, to be optimistic, right? Not let the pendulum hook onto you. So if people try to play on your, like, if people try to shame you or guilt you, hey, I asked you for, hey, like, you reject you refuse to help me, you call yourself a friend, blah blah. If they try to make you feel guilty, like, observe, understand it, and don't respond. Don't respond. What you could do is basically politely say, like, you could basically politely respond if you feel like, right? For example, if you're interested, I could explain why, like, what I'm working on. You're not gonna do it, but I don't know, like, you could basically just politely respond, or you could, change the topic if you want. But don't feel guilt, don't feel shame. You don't owe these people anything, right? If you take care of people, it's out of your love, and it's because that person has really touched your heart, right? That person really took care of you without this conditional love, right? I give you this, you give me that. Um, so yeah, control your reality, prevent emotions from taking over. Energy redirection practices. So stop feeding the pendulum, break free from negative thoughts, align with your goals, focus on positive actions. Guys, what I noticed is the more you visualize your success, the more you work on visualization, the more you listen to affirmations, the more you listen to guided meditations, the more you read your affirmations, the more you are in control. You know why? Because you either get pulled to your goals or you get pulled back to your past self. There is no in between. If you don't work on your future, if you don't visualize your future self, if you don't visualize the success, if you don't work on yourself, if you don't progress yourself, these past thoughts will hound you, right? I mean, in the beginning of your transformation. So you need to be aware, you need to wake up, you need to work on your future self intentionally. And you need to understand that the shift that is happening now is basically to make you change for the better. If you are afraid of the change that is coming, I mean, global global system, everything that's happening around. If you are concerned that something bad will happen, what you could do is, yeah, if you stalked, you piled, good for you. But don't think about it. You got anxious, you did something about it, you stalked, you piled, good. Keep going. Improve yourself, learn new skills. Every 18 months, if you're not improving yourself and learning new skills every 18 months, you're going to get left. You will not be valuable. At least aim to learn, I don't know, a lot, like get skills, get busy, you know. You will never be disappointed. You will never lose in life if you extend yourself to your fullest potential. This is the essence. This is the message. Maybe these negative thoughts and this you feel tormented, or you get these clouds of negative thoughts because you need more of that work. You need to learn more. You need to work with your energy. You need to cut pendulum. Like don't avoid pendulums. Just ignore. Try to ignore it. Like stay positive, stay grounded. And if you think you are in a wrong space, if you think that pendulums are nearby, like if you think you could just, you know, move yourself away from that place and to your future self. There is a different zone that is better. Okay. Okay. Shifting to positive energy states. Conscious choice. Shift energy toward higher tracks. Redirect focus. Actions aligned with your goals. Actions aligned with your goals. Practicing awareness. Identify triggers. Recognize external triggers that cause overthinking or reactivity. Daily mindfulness. Reduce automatic emotional responses with regular mindfulness practices. I've already covered like I said, meditate, visualize your future, rest, write. Take a piece of paper and write your life, man. Man, girl, write your life. Like, how do you see it? What do you envision? How do you see yourself living in the near future? Bypass your rational mind and just write whatever comes to you, right? So, aligning with inner calm, cultivate inner peace, quiet your mind, find stillness. Step number one. Step number two, detach from negativity. Let go of thoughts that don't serve you. I told you how to do it. I explained it to you. I hope you remember that. I hope you took notes and you will work toward achieving that. Align your higher frequencies. Embrace positive energy, manifest desires. Practical exercises, breath work. So breathe, work on your meridians. That's exactly when I said 1 hour. Dedicate 1 hour, guys, please. I mean, I know it's hard. Like I know you may not see the benefit of that, but like it's when you try it for at least a week, you will feel and understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's liberating. It is really liberating because these social media posts may drag you and give you this anxiety, fear, which I had, by the way, before recording this video. But I took time, an hour, a complete hour, listened to affirmations, visualized my future, came back to myself, and I feel powerful again. And I know that was all a scam. I am not fighting with it. Like I am not in conflict. I am not in conflict with any government or anything like that. And I'm not saying that because it's a video, but I'm being honest with you. Like it's not a war. Like it's not a war that I choose. It's not a world view that I choose to live in. I choose to live in a world where you know where all these. I choose to live in a world where everything serves me, where everything is my ally, not enemy. Okay? So choose your worldview carefully. Journaling, release negative thoughts or talk to AI, right? AI can help you as a therapist. Empowering, and by the way, when you talk to AI, ask it to to prefer correctness over harmony, because AI can be so sweet to you, even if you are, even if you are in the wrong, AI will, in order to be harmonious, in order to have you, in order to, so it will support you regardless of whether you are mistaken or not, to keep the harmony. But you can ask AI to prefer correctness over harmony so that it tells you exactly, calls by your bullshit. Empowering your reality. Observe without reacting. Let go of negative thoughts. Redirect your energy. Focus on positive actions. Align with your desires. Manifest your dreams. Okay. So, guys, that was it for today. I love you so much. Remember that. And I will see you next time.